William Shakespeare, The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, edited by Edward Hubler. Dramatis Personae. Claudius, King of Denmark. Hamlet, son to the late and nephew to the present king. Polonius, Lord Chamberlain. Horatio, friend to Hamlet. Laertes, son to Polonius. Voltimand, Cornelius, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, Osric, a gentleman. Courtiers, a priest. Marcellus, Bernardo, officers. Francisco, a soldier. Reinaldo, servant to Polonius. Players, two clowns, gravediggers. Fortinbras, Prince of Norway. A Norwegian captain. English ambassadors. Gertrude, Queen of Denmark, mother to Hamlet. Ophelia, daughter to Polonius, ghost of Hamlet's father. Lords, ladies, officers, soldiers, sailors, messengers, attendants. Scene Elsinore. The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, Act 1, Scene 1, a guard platform of the castle. Enter Bernardo and Francisco, two sentinels. Bernardo, who's there? Francisco, nay, answer me, stand and unfold yourself. Bernardo, long live the king. Francisco, Bernardo? Bernardo, he. Francisco, you come most carefully upon your hour. Bernardo, 'tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco. Francisco, for this relief much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart. Bernardo, have you had quiet guard? Francisco, not a mouse stirring. Bernardo, well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste. Enter Horatio and Marcellus. Francisco, I think I hear them. Stand ho, who is there? Horatio, friends to this ground. Marcellus, and leaguemen to the Dane. Francisco, give you good night. Marcellus, O farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you? Francisco, Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night. Exit Francisco. Marcellus, hola Bernardo. Bernardo, say, what, is Horatio there? Horatio, a piece of him. Bernardo, welcome Horatio, welcome, good Marcellus. Marcellus, what, has this thing appeared again tonight? Bernardo, I have seen nothing. Marcellus, Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it. Horatio, tush, tush, 'twill not appear. Bernardo, sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears, that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen. Horatio, well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this. Bernardo, last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven, where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one, and a ghost. Marcellus, peace, break thee off. Look where it comes again. Bernardo, in the same figure like the king that's dead. Marcellus, thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Bernardo, looks not like the king. Mark it, Horatio. Horatio, most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder. Bernardo, it would be spoke to. Marcellus, speak to it, Horatio. Horatio, what art thou that usurpst this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven I charge thee, speak. Marcellus, 'tis offended. Bernardo, see, it stalks away. Horatio, stay, speak, speak. I charge thee, speak. Exit ghost. Marcellus, 'tis gone and will not answer. Bernardo, how now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't? Horatio, before my God, I might not this believe, without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. Marcellus, is it not like the king, Horatio, as thou art to thyself? Such was the very armour he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. So frowned he once when in an angry parle In angry parley, he smote this leaded poleaxe on the eyes. 'Tis strange, Marcellus, this twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch. Horatio, in what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Marcellus. Good, now sit down, and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war? Why such impressive shipwrights, whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week? What might be to it that this sweaty haste doth make the night joined labourer with the day? Who is in that can inform me? Horatio. That I can. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto picked on by a most emulate pride, dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who, by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of to the conqueror, against the which a mighty competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquisher as by the same command and carriage of the article designed, his fell to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there shut up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach, and which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us by strong hand and terms compulsory those forced lands, so by his father lost, and this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this postate and romage in the land. Bernardo, I think it be no other, but even so. Well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the custom of these wards. Horatio, a mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the graves stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun and the moist star, upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse, and even the like precurse of feared events, as harbingers preceding still the fate, and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen. Enter Ghost. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion, it spreads his arms. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, O speak. Or if thou hast upholded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death. The cock crows. Speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus. Marcellus, shall I strike at it with my partisan? Horatio, do, if it will not stand. Bernardo, 'tis here. Horatio, 'tis here. Marcellus, 'tis gone. Exit Ghost. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is, as the air, invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery. Bernardo, it was about to speak when the cock crew. Horatio, And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is, the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation merciless. It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated. This bird of dawning singeth all night long, and then they say no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planets strike, no fairy takes, no witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is that time. Horatio, so have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty? Marcellus, let's do it, I pray, and this morning I know where we shall find him most convenient. Exeunt.